procrastination hacks by Dominic Mann. So, let's not procrastinate and get started with the summary. Introduction. So guys, why exactly do we procrastinate? What happens in our minds that we have such an awful habit? Can this procrastination end? Does this act of self-destruction have a solution? Yes, of course it does. In this book, you will learn not just one solution, but 17. This book is about the life hacks that you can do to stop procrastinating. You will also learn lots of stories from people who applied these hacks in real and how it changed their lives. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Starting with the first chapter, Why Intelligent People Procrastinate and How Not to. So let's listen to the first story. A young, mentally disabled man used to injure his fingers everywhere. He'd do it over and over again, lots of times. But why? Because he couldn't predict the future. He was fun at parties though. He was fun to talk to, and he would act as though his actions had no consequences. And in his mind also, they definitely didn't have any consequences. Despite his condition, that young man never procrastinated. Not once in his life. Why? Because people procrastinate when they think of the consequences. And in that man's unique brain, it was impossible to see the consequences. Whenever he had a task, he would just do it. He doesn't think whether he's going to enjoy it or not. He doesn't overthink it. He just takes action. Now imagine that you witness your friend hurting her fingers while cutting some fruit. You feed that image to your brain, and eventually, you get scared of cutting fruits again. You have a task that you must do, but you never actually do it. You're always afraid of something. You wonder, what if you screw up? What if you don't do it right? What if you don't enjoy it? So, it seems that procrastination is the burden that everyone needs to carry around. We think and think and think. We overthink every tiny detail, and we are left with no time to actually do that task. But guys, there is a solution. It's time to develop the next action habit. Let's read it in the next chapter. Develop the next action habit and build momentum. Joshua has a huge task ahead of him. His boss asked him to organize 3,000 pictures according to their subject. Joshua has to organize them into several folders, like the sports section, celebrities, food and beverages, etc. Such a huge task could be overwhelming. It seems impossible to choose a section to start from. But you know what Joshua does? He breaks that huge task into smaller ones. Let's see how. Joshua first divides the 3,000 pictures into hundreds. See? Now he doesn't have to deal with all the pictures. He just had to organize the first 100. Joshua continues to the next 100 until he finished the whole task even before the deadline. Nothing changed. The 3,000 picture task still had 3,000 pictures in it. But what changed is Joshua's way of dealing with it. So basically, he tricked his brain into thinking that the task is just easy and small. Joshua chunked it into many small pieces until he got the whole task done. And you know what? Physics played a huge role in that. Newton's first law states that a body at rest will remain at rest unless a force acts on it. It also means that a body in motion will stay in motion unless something happens. A force that will stop it from moving. So when you procrastinate, you'll continue doing so unless something changes. So what you need is that momentum to push you into doing that stuff. The same thing happens if you accomplish one single task. When you finish that task, you're making momentum on your resting brain. You push it to finish another task, and then another, and so on. The trick here is that you should break down the overwhelming task into smaller ones. You need to make your brain think that that big task is not that big. It's small and easy, and that is doable. You need to shift your focus from something that your brain perceives as impossible to something that is truly possible. And once you break down the big task into smaller ones, take the next action. Coming to the next chapter, the one word that kills procrastination. Let's see what it is. Researchers made a study to replace the word can't with the word don't. They divided the participants into two groups. Both groups wanted to become healthier. The first group was taught to say things like, I don't want to skip the gym, or I don't want to eat that piece of chocolate cake. The second group was taught to say, I can't eat dessert, or I can't skip my workout. After a few months, the researchers offered both groups some chocolate and granola bars to choose from as a reward. The first group was twice likely to choose the healthier option. What does this experiment prove? It proves that words are powerful. Can't and don't might seem interchangeable, but actually they are not. The word can't makes your brain think that you want to do something, but you are unable to do it. On the other hand, don't makes your brain believe that you are choosing not to do something. It's your own choice, and it makes you feel powerful. So, whenever you don't want to procrastinate, tell yourself that. Do not say, I can't improve, or I can't do better. Instead say, I don't want to quit, or I don't want to be a loser. And we are here in the next chapter, how to cheaply and quickly outsource tasks. Well, I know that the summary is about being able not to procrastinate, and outsourcing doesn't solve laziness. But sometimes it's an option to consider. Some tasks are simply not worth your time. It's not that you can't do them or that you're procrastinating doing them, but rather it's that they simply take too much time and they're not worth doing. So, why not look for other people who could do it for you? For example, Upwork offers you the opportunity to hire people to do things that you simply don't have time to do, especially for tasks that you are not familiar with. You can ask for help by outsourcing. And these were all the tricks by this book. Let's conclude this quickly. Procrastination is awful. It lets so many tasks pile up until you simply don't have the will to do them. In this summary, you learned 17 hacks that can finally stop you from procrastinating. Let's recap all of them. 1. Intelligent people do not procrastinate. 2. Develop the next action habit. 3. Build momentum. 4. Make an interesting to-do list. 5. Use the 2-minute rule. 6. Set your macro goals and micro quotas. 7. Use time blocks. 8. Put your butt in the chair. 9. Turn the airplane mode on. 10. Write your distraction to-do list. 11. Remember the 10 plus 2 multiplied by 5 method. 12. Use the power of deadlines. 13. Do not be a perfectionist. 14. Procrastinate productively. 15. Visualize the process. 16. Do not say, I can't. 17. Outsource or ask for help. Hopefully, you can apply a few anti-procrastination hacks among these in your life. Never say you can't do it. Tell yourself that I don't want to procrastinate. If you are a big procrastinator, believe in yourself and remember that you can change. Those who have read this book made a great improvement in their lives. Now that you know the 17 hacks, it's time to get moving.